Welcome back, everybody. It's good to see you. So the other day I harvested all my onions. A few days before that I did all my garlic harvesting, and the last of the alliums that I have grown this year are my shallots. So I've got two varieties of shallots growing here this year, and I've been growing these same two varieties for the last few years. I've had good luck with them. One definitely grows a lot better than the other, but they both have their place, their purpose. So first variety here, these are my Dutch red shallots. They're beautiful, simple, really good, really prolific shallot. They grow really well. I almost get a ton, a whole row here, and they last forever. I still have shallots in my pantry from last year. They store incredibly well. So I always grow a bunch of those because they last forever and they're super tasty. The other variety I grow are these here, and this is a French gray shallot. And these definitely don't grow as many, but they definitely don't last as long, but their flavor is incredible. I used to use these in restaurants in New York, and these are by far the most flavorful, delicious French shallots you can have for making sauces, for using in your cooking. They're amazing. They are a bit of a pain to peel. They are a pain to grow, but they're totally worth it. So I'm gonna harvest these all just like I did the other day with the onions. They're gonna lie down in the sun to make sure they're totally dry before I put them in my shady spot. We wanna make sure that there's no excess moisture on them. They might tend to rot a little bit if they go into the shop too damp. So they're gonna go into my shop, cure for a bit, and then they're gonna get cleaned up and stored in a cool, dry place in the pantry. And we'll go back in the kitchen at some point soon, and I will show you a couple really awesome things you can do with shallots. I planted these shallots in the fall from what are called sets. They establish in the fall and then kind of go dormant all winter long, and then in June or July you harvest. Well, as is often the case with gardening, you win some, you lose some. Huge row there of the Dutch red shallots. You can see them all lying down in the path. And then French grays I got this year I can hold in one hand. This is still plenty to do some really, really nice things with, but you can see the difference. And I pretty much planted the exact same amount of sets this fall, and you can see the return on these two is extremely different. Like I said, you win some, you lose some. You're learning every single time. You know, it's not always in your control. Hey y'all, welcome back. So we've got a few of my of those shallots here that we harvested earlier today. Got a haircut in between, and show you a couple of fun things to do with these. So shallots, one big question I get a lot about shallots is what do you use them for? And essentially you can substitute shallots for onions in any recipe, any dish that you use. They are a little bit more refined. Their flavor is just a little bit more delicate than regular onions, so they kind of lend themselves to more refined dishes than other kinds of onions. For example, French sauces, perfect, mignonettes, vinaigrettes, that sort of thing. Anything that you want to eat your onions in raw, these are great. They're also fantastic pickled. You can use these in my pickled onion recipe that I put out a little while back, so check that out on our main page. They're pretty straightforward to peel. Really, you just peel them just like you would any other kind of onion. They do break down into smaller pieces than an onion. There's quite a few little shallots within a whole shallot. Like if we were to clean this guy up, there's probably about 5 or so, maybe 4 of those smaller pieces in here. So there's a bit more cleaning to do than with a regular onion. So what I'm gonna show you guys today is a super straightforward, really, really great side dish of whole roasted shallots that get browned in the pan and then finished in the oven with a good amount of fresh thyme. I've got a nice whole bunch of fresh thyme here. Some bay leaves, a couple bay leaves, salt, pepper, and then some reduced beef broth that I have back here on my stove. So this side dish is great as a side, along with a whole roasted chicken, turkey for Thanksgiving, roast beef, a steak, fish off the grill, a bunch of veggies. Or what I love to do with it is take these shallots once they're cooked And when they're still kind of warm, spread them and crush them on a piece of crusty bread with either a little Parmesan cheese or some really sharp cheddar on there. Man, that's an awesome little sandwich. All right, I'll show you how to do this. So here I've got everything we need for our roasted shallots. So I've got a nice pile, about 2 cups or so of peeled shallots. Little side note here, if you can't find shallots for this recipe, a really easy substitute are pearl onions, which you can get pretty much all year round. Shallots are going to be a little bit more refined. I think they're a little bit better, but pearl onions work great for this. A couple bay leaves and a nice, healthy amount of thyme. Thyme is one of my ultimate favorite herbs to use in cooking, especially when you're kind of doing this classic French dishes like this one is. This is actually my version of a Julia Child recipe. So thyme, essential, plus it's pretty much my favorite. So lots and lots of it. Heat a pan over medium-high heat and add a good splash of olive oil. Once your olive oil is nice and hot and shimmering, add your cleaned shallots, making sure to not overcrowd the pan. Let them sit for 3 to 4 minutes and brown on one side before stirring. You really want to get a beautiful golden crust on these shallots. They will taste so much better that way. Take your time with this step. It's very, very important. After about 3 to 4 minutes, give your pan a good stir or shake or flip. And as you can see, they've taken on an absolutely gorgeous golden brown color. Just look at that, that is gorgeous. That's all flavor right there. Season them well with a good pinch of salt and fresh cracked black pepper. I like a good amount of pepper in mine, but that's up to you as how much pepper you like to use. Add your bay leaves, your fresh thyme, and then a good tablespoon or 2 of butter. The butter softens the pan and adds richness to your roasted shallots. Once your butter is melted, give your pan another quick stir, making sure you incorporate that thyme and bay leaf in with your shallots. And then we're going to add some reduced beef broth. This is a beef stock that I made myself and reduced down till it was really rich. But you can substitute chicken stock or just water as well. But the beef broth really adds an absolutely delicious, rich flavor to this. Once you've added your beef broth, put the pan in a preheated 400-degree oven and let these shallots roast for anywhere between 15 and 25 minutes until they're super soft and tender and the sauce is reduced to a thick glaze. Here we are after 15 to 20 minutes in the oven. As you can see, the sauce is reduced really down. Shallots are just gorgeous, sweet, and amazing. Thanks so much for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. The recipe for this dish is in the description. Thanks everybody, we really appreciate it. See you next time.